All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday edition of Need for Play, sponsored by Pick City, the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Y'all know me. I am Spin Doc, and Rex is not able to join us today, but for a huge card, over 100 games of college basketball, we are joined by two of the best in the biz. We got Steven and we got Goose to go over the whole card, going over the big games. We're going to go over some mid majors, break everything down, give you all the things you need to make it a very, very profitable Saturday for you. So, again, if you are on YouTube or joining us where you can add comments, feel free to add your comments, add your best plays, your best picks. We'll make sure to get those up on the screen. Same thing with any questions that you might have. So in just a little bit here, we should be also joined by Sosa, but I'll turn it over to my two co-hosts today. Steven, how are we doing today, and how was your action last night? I know we were on Spaces yesterday.
Yes, we were. I'm gonna say I think I'm starting to get on a little bit of a heater with these underdogs. Stanford plus 245 2 days ago.
Ooh.
We hit Siena money line plus 185 yesterday. It's been a good couple of days. We also hit Michigan for you guys, and Davidson with the late 3 gave us a 3-in-1 day. Only thing we missed on was Akron.
Well, we did not miss on Akron. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, Sosa?
Sosa, what's up, man? You're on mute. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll go to Goose.
My bad.
Goose.
I'm on mute. My bad.
That's all right.
Saying I was just doing the spaces. What's up with y'all? Goose, Steven. Everybody got a haircut? Steven got a hair. You got a haircut?
Nah, I'm messed up.
Steven got a cut. You got a fresh boy. Look at my boy. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Barber's black.
No.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
That's okay. All right,
bro. And
I'm just playing.
And yo, she younger than me, bro. I was more shocked than anybody else when I got a cut like this.
Are you gonna one more time go like this? Okay. All right. Okay. Steven said you look good, you place good bets, and you win. I like that.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But what's good? What's good with everybody?
Oh boy. Here we go in the comments already. So all the Sosa Drake comparisons are starting already.
Oh man, he looked like me. What y'all talking about? That nigga looked like me.
That didn't take long.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Hey, man.
No, we were just recapping our action yesterday. Goose, I know that you weren't on Spaces yesterday, but did you have any college action?
Yeah, I missed out on all the winners. I wasn't able to join the Spaces. No, I kept it late last night. I tailed 2 plays, went 1-1. Fresno State got me a win. That was nice. Lost on VCU, but it happens. I mean, it's just I got to go green today.
I love it. So my Spaces plays yesterday, the official ones, Illinois was a win. They covered that one very, very late. That was a sweat up until the very end. Kent State, that was also a win. They actually won pretty comfortably. And then the Quinnipiac Rider over was a winner or a loser, depending on when you bet it. So when I gave it out, it was at 146.5, and it finished directly on 147. A lot of people that took it right after Spaces got 147.5 and got hooked at the very end. So I guess I can't say officially that I was 3-0, but it was 3-0 for the time that when I gave them out. So elsewhere, last night was a phenomenal night. It was MAC basketball. It's my jam, my conference. I went 6-0 on MAC picks, and then went 8-1 overall, and then 11-1 overall if you count the Spaces plays. So very, very, very fun night in the Diamond Club. Very fun night giving out live plays. We just got hooked a little bit at the end with a total for Michigan and Illinois that prevented the entire card sweep. So it was a good night and ready to get at it again. Sosa, how about you?
I would just like to say fuck Hunter Dickinson, and fuck the University of Michigan. Like, and that's all I got.
It's fair.
That's why you said it's the Wild West when it comes to college basketball. This shit's trash, bro. Like, you can completely cap a game, and you're expecting somebody to play, and then the best player on the fucking team decides to take the night off. Nah. And shout out to D-Rock, though. D-Rock also said, like, he said exactly how the game would go.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I'm inclined to think, obviously, if Dickinson fucking plays, they win. They cover.
They cover, right? For sure.
And we had this conversation because we're actually on opposite sides. Obviously, I didn't cap the game without him playing.
Right.
Right. So with Hunter Dickinson, I personally, like I said, it's fuck him. Also, this Michigan team has no identity. Who's the head coach? Is it Juwan Howard? Because I'm seeing 2012 St. Joe's out there. I'm not seeing Juwan Howard coach this team. I'm seeing Phil Martelli fucking coach this team. And I just saw Juwan Howard get a shit ton of money from the University of Michigan.
It's the same problem everybody said that Memphis had earlier in the year when you had Larry Brown and Penny.
Yeah, it's not making any sense. Like, Juwan Howard's a coach that wants to play with pace and transition, get his guards on the move, run motion, run dribble drives, run modern offense. You're fucking walking it up the floor against everyone.
Yep.
I don't want to hear that shit. Like, it just, like, this is you taking on the identity of another coach. I do not like it at all. I do not like what Juwan Howard is doing in any way. His checks are going to clear. But I mean, you're not Phil Martelli. Be yourself. And that's, I'm sorry to go on a rant, but like, that's what I see with this team. They're a talented team. Obviously their best player didn't play last night, but for what they have, the performance has been bottom of the barrel.
Very disappointing.
You could easily say this is the most disappointing team in Division I basketball by a mile.
They're close. By
a mile. They've been absolutely horrendous. When you got Arizona with a new head coach, top 5 already, looking like a team that should dominate in the Pac-12, and this is what Juwan Howard's doing. It's bad, and I like to come down on black coaches because obviously I want that we need more, but you have to call it for what you're seeing. Like, Juwan Howard's doing a poor job of continuing a precedent that he set last year. I'm not impressed, and I'm frankly extremely disappointed.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up yesterday, and we will move on to, as I said, over 100 games today. So, we will. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the big ones, the Power Conference marquee matchups first. Then we'll get into some mid majors, and then we'll cover anything else miscellaneous that anybody has. So, Steven, we'll turn to you. Where do you want to start today?
All right. So I'm just kind of going to go in order of time here. I think we'll start with the Kentucky-Tennessee game. It opened at Kentucky -5.5. Right now it is,
I think, 4.5 now.
4.5.
Okay, so right now it's 4.5. And personally, Kentucky playing against good defenses has not really impressed me that much, but Tennessee's offense, especially on the road, hasn't been that impressive either. So this is a tough spot. The only thing I'm kind of liking right now is probably that under 142.5, because Tennessee can hold teams to somewhere in the 50s or 60s. And if they're doing that, I don't trust Tennessee to score in the 80s in this game.
All right. Goose, what do you got for this one?
I actually like the under as well. I think Kentucky's going to control the glass. Sheboy or whatever, he's a beast. He's going to get you 20 and 15 tonight, like he always does. And they're going to control the glass. I don't think Tennessee has the size, but I think they have the speed on defense. And Kentucky's going to want to, play with some pace, but I think Tennessee neutralizes them. I was looking at the under 142.5 as well, and I think Kentucky pulls away with it. I think they have the more talent. I think they have the more consistent offense. But rather than laying the points, I want to play the under. I think we're in the 60s today.
Yeah, under as well for me.
Nice.
2 of the last 3 games that these teams have played have gone under this total. When all the defensive reasons that you guys talked about before, for those that follow money coming in and out, 31% so far of the bets are on the under, but 94% of the money. There are some clear, sharp indicators right now that are going on the under, and actually in some shops, it's already gone down. I think I saw somewhere as a smaller book, but at 140.5. I don't know if I'd go that far for the under. So if you're going to bet the under, I would for sure take it now. This one, 142.5. It's holding there at a few places, but most places it's already gone down to 142. Chances are, since the game starts in just a few hours, you're probably going to get it's. I would guess that this one closes around the 141 mark. So if you want the under, definitely take it now. So what you got for this one? Anything?
I'm over here confused as shit. I don't even know what game y'all are talking about.
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Oh, shit. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not even gonna lie. I was. Obviously, you're never gonna get me to put my money on Rick Barnes.
I learned that last week.
Ever. What time's this game? So I can find. So 1 o'clock start. Kentucky at the crib.
1 Eastern.
4.5 point spread. The play in this game. Kentucky. I would have to roll with Kentucky at the crib, early start. 4.5. I think they can win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can cover the 4.5.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with obviously I don't fuck with Barnes at all. I think he's a burger. So
yeah. If you gave me a free play on the spread here, I would definitely go with Kentucky. But I'm not going to touch the spread on this one. And if I can get the under at 142.5, like Goose mentioned, I probably would put a small little bit on that. But if it goes down in the 141 to 140.5 range, I don't really want it. That's actually probably one that I would be looking to fire on live.
Nice.
All right. Any other thoughts on Kentucky, Tennessee? Besides, I completely agree with Rick Barnes in big games. Rick Barnes and Bill Self, just fade. All right, Steven, what we got next?
Yep. So the next game is a Big 12 game, 2 p.m. Texas at Iowa State here. Texas opened up as a 1.5 point favorite and is now a 2.5 point favorite. In this game, it's a little tough because Texas has looked, when they've looked disappointing, they've done it on the road. But Iowa State, I still can't really buy into. And now that they have to play tough teams every single game, I don't know if they can keep up that energy that they had early in the year. Because they had some bye games that they could just coast through, and then they could make sure they got up when they had a big game. I don't know if they can get up consistently every single game for big games in the Big 12. So if I had it, so my lean here would be Texas minus the 2.5.
All right. Goose, what do you got?
So I don't have an official play on this game because, like, last night I'm analyzing these games and I'm geeking out. I overanalyze this game, so I want to start with the conditions. I know basketball's played inside, but I'm worried about the home atmosphere today. Classes don't start till Tuesday for Iowa State. So the students are just getting back to college, but there was a big snowstorm last night and it's like 5 degrees in Iowa State. Like, I know it's an indoor game, but who's going to want to leave their house to go to that? Because I really think that Iowa State needs the home crowd to win this game. I think Texas is just a very talented team. So because I'm thinking that the crowd might be weak sauce, I laid off this game. Another thing, I wanted to back Iowa State. They lost 3 of 4. One of them was to Baylor. 2 of them were on the road. I feel like they need this game. But I'm just, again, as I'm saying, I geeked out. I couldn't pull the trigger on Iowa State because I think it might be a weak arena tonight. So that's just like where I'm at. I want to play Iowa State, but I feel like, give me a springtime weather. Fans are enthused. Fans are there screaming their tails off. I would normally go Iowa State.
Yeah, I am. Oh, sorry. So go ahead first.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. No, I'm Texas all the way here. Texas all the way here. They're just defensively against Iowa State. So their 2-point defense is 8th in the country. Iowa State's 2-point offense, 306th. Texas's 3-point offense, 86th. Defense are 86th, and Iowa State's 3-point offense, 144th. Shooting, rebounding, there's just too many advantages here for Texas with the small chalk on the road. So I would definitely go with Texas in this one.
I'm on the other side, guys.
All right.
Games in Ames, Iowa. Last time they played there, they came out like shit in the first half against Baylor. And what's crazy is if you guys watch that game, they played Baylor probably the second half. Like, that was one of the best second halves you've seen any team play Baylor all year. They fought hard. They just came out flat in the first half. I'm on the early money on this one. Give me the Iowa State first half money line at plus 110. In Ames, Texas more talented, Texas better coached. Iowa State at the crib, in Ames. The crowd's going to bring it. Goose was saying that. Listen, teams don't like playing there. I was very, very surprised at how Baylor was just able to go into there and just dominate them in the first half. And then the second half, like I said, the second half that they played against Baylor was one of the best halves of basketball you're going to get from a team playing Baylor, because Baylor is like that. They are a legit juggernaut. They're a legit top program in America. What I seen from this Iowa State team is, they boat raced some teams earlier in the year. They start smelling themselves a little bit, and you've seen them kind of return to the pack. I think today home atmosphere first half against Texas. I like them. I like them kicking off another Saturday, especially with the early start. Give me Iowa State first half. It's low scoring as well. I think very low scoring game.
Yeah, I could see low scoring too. I mean, you could definitely sway me on Iowa State because all 3 of Texas's losses and their worst games have all come on the road. So I could definitely see them coming out bad again on the road today. But I mean, that's why it's not an official play. It's just a lean on the team with more talent.
Yeah, and I would tend to agree with the low scoring. The only thing is, looking back historically, the last 5 games between these teams have gone over this total, and actually 3 of them have gone like comfortably over by like 20 points. Obviously, some of those were different years, different teams, but these 2 teams do tend to play a little bit of a higher scoring, again, especially in Ames. So for me personally, I got nothing on the total. It is one though that I might look to take live.
Yep. All right. So the next game is a team I got a little bit lucky with in their last game against a team that had probably one of their worst performances of the year in a rivalry game in their last game. Oklahoma at TCU. I think TCU, when Mike Miles is healthy, can be really good. They played Baylor real solid in the first half until Mike Miles got a wrist injury, and then they kind of folded and Baylor put it on him. Here it was Oklahoma minus 1.5 to start. We should still be Oklahoma probably around that, maybe minus 2.5. Still Oklahoma minus 1.5. TCU at home, I think they'll treat this as one of their bigger games because Oklahoma is one of the teams they should have a chance at beating. I'll go out on a limb here, take TCU money line at home to win an important Big 12 game for them tonight.
All right. I will go and I will concur with TCU with the cover for sure. This is a big time look ahead spot for Oklahoma because TCU is sandwiched in between with Oklahoma, where they have next up, Oklahoma has Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia, Auburn. So an absolutely massive stretch of games. The first two of which, Kansas and Baylor, being at home next week. So I don't know if I am going to grow a big enough of a set to bet TCU on the money line. However, I do definitely think that they cover this number. I've said this before, the look ahead spots for bigger programs that are going to be coming and playing big games coming up is a real thing. And Oklahoma has 3 massive ones next week. So this is one where I can see them getting in, taking care of business, getting out, done. Goose, what do you got?
I like TCU as well. I think the Oklahoma is very efficient on offense, but going on the road might be hard for them to shoot at this high clip. The rebounding matchup was big for me. TCU's a great rebounding team. And yeah, I think the rebounding matchup is where the game will be won. I think TCU will limit offensive boards for Oklahoma. I think TCU will get offensive boards and steal possessions. I think over the course of the game, those added possessions will catch up, and I like TCU to come out victorious at home.
All right. Sosa? Is Sosa gonna be the lone wolf?
I got nothing on this one, man.
I thought he was gonna come in.
I'm gonna let y'all cook on that one. I got nothing.
I thought he was gonna come in like that guy on College Game Day, just be like, "Not so fast, my friends."
Yeah.
Oklahoma in a route.
I'm listening. I got nothing, so I'm gonna stay out of it.
All right. Where to next?
So next game is I'll stay with the last Power 5 game today. Oregon has a chance to sweep those LA schools today, coming in and playing a USC team coming off their first loss to my Pac-12 team, the Stanford Cardinal. And so the line opens at USC minus 6.5, over under minus 140 or over under 145.5. And here I'm feeling the same way I felt in the USC game. I like the way
UCLA
Oregon's
game?
been playing.
UCLA. Right?
So yeah. Wait, did I say USC?
Yeah, they play USC today, but they play UCLA 2 nights ago.
Yep.
Shout out to Bill
I'm talking about. I'm feeling the same way they played for when they played in the UCLA game. I like the pace Oregon's been playing at. I think as long as Dante doesn't get in foul trouble, he can be serviceable enough to guard Isaiah Mobley down low. I like Oregon to cover the 6.5 here. I'm not comfortable enough to give them outright because I think USC still has a little bit more talent, but Oregon to stay within the 6.5, I do like.
All right. Goose?
Oregon has my guy Jacob Young from Rutgers. He's been not that great for Oregon this year. I'm surprised he hasn't taken that step as like a 6th or 7th year senior. And Oregon just too inconsistent for me. Early in the year, they had some really bad performances. They got blown out by teams like Houston and BYU, like blown out. And they're on a nice little win streak right now. I'm kind of surprised they beat UCLA. I just think after that big UCLA win, they're going to come out now I don't want to say flat, but come out off against USC. I just feel like they're riding too high for the inconsistent basketball that they've played all season. So I think USC off the Stanford loss, kind of like a just an a momentum play. I like USC to bounce back.
Okay.
Unofficial, not like a full go hard with it, but I like USC to cover the big spread. And yeah.
Yep. So you got anything on this one?
I like Oregon with the points again.
Mhm.
I mean, like
Let's go.
I just this Oregon team cashed me out against Baylor in the first half. They made me some money. You know what I mean? You tend to like the teams that make you money.
Yeah.
If they keep making you, but with a team that's 10-6, you got to pick your spots. You know, but I think that win against UCLA could be you could be a situation where they come in here overconfident and get blitzed. I think Andy Enfield's a bit of a fraud. That's just how I feel. I think he's recruited pretty good players, but he's never really fucking done anything at USC since he's been there. He's put some guys in the pros, but he hasn't done shit. I think that I like the coach. I like the makeup of this Oregon team, and I think this Oregon team, it could be one of two ways. It's either a major letdown, or you use it to catapult yourself to the next place. I personally believe that Oregon keeps it close. I don't think USC blitzes them and smokes them. I think they played in the hostile territory 2 nights ago. I think they're prepared for whatever is coming, and people don't really give a fuck about USC hoops. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. When you look at Dana Altman and you look at his record pre and post New Year, he actually is at his best after the New Year's break. It's just been the statistical thing that has been true year after year after year, even dating back, for him, even dating back to Creighton. So I don't really have a whole lot else to add. I'm not going to be on the game, but if you gave me a free play, I would for sure take Oregon.
All right. So my first mid-major game that I think will be one of the better games if you can watch it is Abilene Christian at New Mexico State. This is this should be the biggest bounce back spot for Abilene Christian. They got smoked by my guys in Grand Canyon a couple of days ago, and this New Mexico State's really the only other really good team in the WAC. If there's a time for Abilene Christian to bounce back and get a huge win, I think it's today. And while 7.5 feels like a lot, I've been good calling my shots with some of these bigger line underdogs, and my lean would be for Abilene Christian to have probably their best game of the year and get that outright win instead of the plus 7.5 tonight.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I am going to concur with that. Abilene Christian money line. They match up incredibly well with New Mexico State here. I gave it out as a video play and it lost, but when I had Tarleton covering against New Mexico State, look, New Mexico State shot absolutely unconscious from 3. They made 12 3-pointers, which is not something that New Mexico State does very, very frequently. In fact, almost never. So their 3-point offense is just barely in the top half of college basketball. And it's just not something that I would expect to continue, especially when you look at their consistency rating for over their last 10 games. Their consistency is 301st in the country. And so basically that just measures like all the key metrics and how consistent they are at hitting them. So teams that are low in consistency can be extremely volatile. And so I think that we saw the best for New Mexico State against Tarleton, specifically in the second half. And then we saw the worst for Abilene Christian against Grand Canyon. So I think that those two things combined are giving us the line that we have today. I absolutely don't think that New Mexico State is 7.5 points better than Abilene Christian, not even on their home floor. I would expect to see positive regression for Abilene, negative regression for New Mexico, which to me would equal give me Abilene. The plus 300 is a lot of value there versus just taking the 7.5. Goose?
So like coming into this, I was looking at it, New Mexico State. But you guys have kind of swung me. It's just like Abilene Christian, first year in the new conference. They dropped 3 in a row. I think they're a better team than what they're playing. I'm just worried that this is like just like a little step up that they went to, and first year head coach. But it is kind of desperation time. Like ultimately, the only games that they have to win are the couple games in the WAC tournament, because that's the only way they'll make the tournament at any team in that conference. So like it is kind of like a warm up feel for New Mexico State, but it is kind of desperation time at the same time for them. As I said, dropped 3 in a row, and I respect New Mexico State. I was actually looking at it as a 10+ point win, but the confidence you guys just gave out really has swung me, because it wasn't anything that I was like dying to play. So, yeah, I guess I was just worried about their jump up in conference, but
yeah. Hey, if you watch this game, specifically on New Mexico State, number 35, Johnny McCants, I said this in the Diamond Club the other night, man, that is one mean son of a bitch. He's like 6'8" and like 230, and just the dude plays angry. He looks angry, like he looks like the kind of dude where if you saw him like in the back alley of a bar, like I would just, even if that wasn't what he was about, I would just put my wallet, my phone down. I just be like, dude, here, I ain't even gonna fuck with you. Like that dude looks like he could just tear people apart. I actually like guys that play with that because there is some of the intimidation factor. But if you get a chance to watch, number 35, Johnny McCants for New Mexico State, man, one of the meanest players in college basketball I've seen. I love guys that play mean. So you got anything on this one?
No, sir. That's why you see me not saying shit. I got nothing. I have nothing on this.
Yeah, Akbar. I think that's kind of the general. I agree. That's the general consensus. It's too many, and I think that we're getting a few extra points on both sides here because of the two teams' performances in their last games. You see that a lot too with the betting public is very, very much what have you done for me lately, not like what kind of team are you. So if you have a team that performed that just got the shit kicked out of them the last game when they were supposed to be close, and a team that won by more than what they should have, you will see the public taking that into consideration, and the books take it into consideration too in setting the line, and then you can hit the opposite side, which is exactly what we're doing here. All right.
So the last big game I got for today is a WCC matchup. You got BYU at San Francisco, late night, 11 o'clock. I'm not going to go against San Francisco here at home. BYU, it's been a storyline pretty much all year. They're missing 2 of their big guys. They're going on the road to play a really good, like a team that shoots really well from 3, just an efficient offense and a great defense in San Francisco. If BYU can't start playing a little bit better defense than what we saw in their last game where they played 0 defense, I definitely think San Francisco wins and covers the 4.5 here.
Goose?
I was gonna rock with BYU. I like their I like how they defend the 3. They got destroyed by Gonzaga though the other night, but it's Gonzaga. Like that'll happen. And it was at Gonzaga. I think BYU really bounces back well after that performance. And I like them with the 4.5. I think they're more athletic than San Francisco. I think they'll run around the perimeter and they'll defend well tonight. And so I'm backing BYU with the point, getting the points, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the Gonzaga one out a little bit. How efficient Gonzaga was. There's probably some like NBA G League teams that they could have beaten playing like that. That was one of the most superb execution of offenses that I have ever seen. I had actually earlier in the day given Gonzaga kind of a little bit of shit because I said they have a lot of individual talent, but that's what it is. It plays individually. That was a team effort. And if they're moving the ball like that, and if they're cutting and screening like that, it's going to be really hard to touch them unless you can score like 125 points. That was a clinic. And so kudos to Mark, to Coach Few, and to the Zags for putting on an absolute clinic. Now, Sosa, I think, you and I were talking about it. We're like, BYU actually played pretty well for most of that game, and they just got the shit kicked out of them. Yeah. So, it's not like BYU came in and just laid an egg. They were actually pretty efficient on offense as well. It's just a different class. So for me, for this one, this is one that I am going to look to bet live. I want to see how BYU bounces back. Second consecutive road game against the next best team in the conference after Gonzaga and them. BYU has not been put in this spot before this year. With the number of upperclassmen that they have on their team, I would expect that they would bounce back pretty well. But you never know with kids this young when, like I said, you have to play a second consecutive road game against a team that's not quite as good as the one you just played, but is still pretty good and probably going to be a tournament team. So if you gave me a free play before the game, I would probably take San Francisco just because it's at the crib, but that would honestly be a guess. This is for sure one that probably right after the under 16 or under 12 media timeout, I am going to look to bet live based on how they're playing. And I would advise anybody to watch this one and see how BYU comes out, because if they come out flat and they still look like they're feeling some of the effects, then even if the game is still close, you can probably fire pretty comfortably on San Francisco. And likewise, if they keep it close and they're looking like they're back, they're the BYU we have been seeing, then it's probably a BYU spot, which is why it's just live for me.
I respect it. I like that.
Yeah. They're very close metrically. They're very close talent wise. My unknown factor here, because, you hear the kid, you read the quotes from the coaches and the kids, and they say all the right things, like, on to the next one. We just got to bounce back. We just got to get out. I can tell you as a former coach, which shout out to whoever gave me that comment in the chat, that I am a former and current coach. So yes, that's much easier said than done. We say those things all the time as coaches, and there have been times where, like, I've walked away with my assistants and I'm like, yeah, these kids, these kids still feel like shit. I'm like we got to do something else. That happens a lot in when you're coaching youth sports. So this is kind of just like a prove it one way or the other for me for BYU before I decide to lay any money for or against them. All right. So nothing this one.
No.
Okay. But are you gonna do what they said not to do in the chat? And
I'm not betting against the Mormons. Like especially coming off of L. The way they played against Gonzaga, they probably beat like 90% of college teams. Like Gonzaga just couldn't fucking miss. They didn't miss.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me that they had, they would have 60 points 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the second half, and they'd be down by 15, I'd say you were lying. Like, they played about as great a game as you could possibly have against Gonzaga. Gonzaga just couldn't miss. That's it. It's that simple. Yeah. So, I think obviously they're playing a less talented team. I think BYU, if I had to choose, I think BYU would fucking smoke them.
Yeah. And Mario Harris, yes, you are right. I've been a basketball coach for 20 some years now. Coached kids as young as kindergarten and I've coached D1 athletes and guys that have gone on to play professionally in Europe. Haven't actually ever coached anybody that's played in the association yet, but maybe one day we'll get there. So, all right, Stephen, what do we got next?
All right, next I think we can just start going to our cards. I can give out mine first if we like, because I got a bigger card. It's not going to be everything here. It's going to be about half here, half on Twitter later maybe. So I'm just gonna they keep winning me money. I'm gonna keep rocking with them, and somehow they're still an underdog again today. Give me Stanford money line. It's basically like a pick 'em, but Stanford money line always. I'm taking Grand Canyon -9 over Tarleton. This is a thing that just this is a thing where Grand Canyon's getting one of their first games on national TV, and it's at home. If you want to try to tell me they're not going to run Tarleton out of the gym, I will disagree with you 100% of the time. I'm also on Boise State -9. They are looking like the hottest team in the Mountain West right now, and New Mexico is kind of a dumpster fire. So definitely Boise State -9. I'm on Abilene money line. I like Toledo -3 in their matchup today. I'm on SMU -3 over Tulane. I like Texas A&M -4.5 because Missouri doesn't lose close games. If Missouri's losing this game, they are getting blown out. I'm on Florida State money line. I know it's a little tough to go against Syracuse at home with that shooting, but Florida State's finally started to pick it up the last two games. I'm back to them. Definitely Auburn -8.5 over Ole Miss. I don't see Ole Miss having the size to match up with them, and Ole Miss just lost by like 15 or 16 to Texas A&M. If you're telling me Auburn, who's looked like one of the best teams in the country, isn't going to come in there and just run them, I mean, I just don't see it. And then one of my favorite small schools, this is the last one I got, one of my favorite small schools who I think is going to beat Eastern Kentucky today, I got Jacksonville State money line. That's about half of it.
All right. Goose, what else you got?
So I'm on 3 plays from the stream, and then I got 1 play out of the stream. Kentucky, Tennessee under 142, TCU money line, BYU +4.5. We talked about all those, and then I'm gonna rock with Chattanooga tonight. Today they're playing Furman. Chattanooga -3, -3.5. I think they're the best team in the SoCon, and I think it's a statement game tonight. Furman's a great team, but I think it's a statement game for Chattanooga.
All right. So I'm going to give out a few here, and then I'm going to go over. So for those that follow me, you know that the 2 conferences that I follow the closest that I get really in the weeds in are the MAC and the Colonial. So MAC played last night. Colonial has 4 games today. I'll just kind of give.
Somebody say weed? No,
What's that?
I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
What'd you even say?
I said, somebody say weed.
So the one that I'm gonna give out for a small school is and they're actually one of my favorite small school teams. They actually in the Diamond Club they cash us a +300 money line ticket. Dixie State. I love the way this team plays. They are a little bit lacking in talent, but holy shit, is this team scrappy? They push the ball at a frantic pace. They're 14th in the country. They get all kinds of shots, all kinds of stuff in transition. They're size limited, so they're thin on the front court, both literally and figuratively, but they're 38th in the country in second chance conversions at 6.74%. And the way that they do that is they just outwork you. They never stop coming. They never stop playing. So they're kind of like a little bit more talented version of Tarleton. And so right now they're playing a Seattle team where offensively they don't rank very high. Their defense is a lot better than their offense. So Seattle 2-point offense, 318th, and overall field goal percentage 294th. So when you combine those two things, and you're also going to give me a double-digit spread, I believe that it's at 11.5 right now. It's actually gone up from 11 to 11.5. Give me Dixie State all day. I'm not going to go so far as to say that they can pull off the second upset in a row because they just beat Cal Baptist where they were a double-digit underdog on the road. Second straight road game. I'm not going to go that far, but I love Dixie State to cover this afternoon. The other ones that I'm going to be on is if this doesn't work, then I will learn my lesson. I am going to take Kansas State at the +4.5 against Texas Tech. I said, and I've been saying this, anybody would listen, is that there are two games that Texas Tech has before they face Iowa State, Kansas, West Virginia. So a gauntlet. I talked earlier about look-ahead spots. I thought Oklahoma State would be a look-ahead spot. They bitch slapped Oklahoma State because Oklahoma State is trash, and they're on my timeout list for quite a while now. I've learned my lesson. I have not learned my lesson because I think Kansas State is a much better team than Oklahoma State is, so I will take Kansas State to cover the 4.5, thinking that this is going to be the look-ahead spot for Texas Tech. So those are the two that I want to give out that are non-colonial. Before I go to just all the colonial matchups for today, so you got any other ones that you want to give to the people? Off mute though.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my card and I'm gonna roll up out of here for my final plays. My final plays that I like for today are Iowa State plus first half money line +106 against Texas. Michigan State -9.5 against Northwestern. It's a noon start at the crib against Northwestern. Look lackluster in their last performance. I think Izzo has the troops ready, and they run them out the gym early and often. I'm taking a ticket on a contrarian play here. Now, this one could easily blow up in your face. If you're scared, go to church. Don't touch it. I got Creighton first half spread against Xavier. I know everyone's expecting Xavier to come out here and just come out like gangbusters, looking for that revenge factor after losing to Villanova. I think it's another game where Villanova comes out slow. I think Creighton shoots enough threes to keep them in the game first half. Everyone starts at 0. I think in the second half, Xavier separates themselves because they're the better team. But I do think that Doug McDermott's father will have the Creighton Blue Jays ready to play today at the Cintas Center in Ohio. And now I have two other plays. One is another home dog. It comes in the Columbia and Harvard game. I like Columbia +9.5 today against Harvard at home.
Ivy League, I love it.
Ivy League basketball.
Love
the
Ivy
smart kids walk it up and jack threes. And my final play of the day is in the Wake Forest Virginia game. I am taking the under 129. I think the first team to 60 wins the game. I think we know what we're going to get from Tony Bennett. He's lacking talent. We just saw Wake Forest get boat raced by Duke. I personally believe Virginia at the crib. I like Tony Bennett in this spot to keep it low scoring, under 129, -110. Those are all my plays. I can say them all back in order. That's Iowa State first half money line at +102. Michigan State -9.5 at -110. Creighton +4.5 first half against Xavier. Columbia +9.5 against Harvard full game at -110. And the Wake Forest Virginia under 129 at -110. That's all I got for today. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to roll up out of here, but make sure y'all are locked in with my guys, Stephen C. Betts, Goose, Kowal's Corner. And obviously, me and Spin Doctor will be live tomorrow during Sunday morning quarterbacks. Goose, before I get out of here, Bills gonna win tonight?
Oh yeah,
Psych.
circle the wagons.
Y'all have a great one. I'm out of here.
Hey, yo, nah. Nobody
Yeah.
circles the wagons like my Buffalo Bills.
Man, they about to get clapped.
No,
Nah.
Noodle arm Mac Jones.
Y'all
ain't
got to
moving the
remember
ball.
that Bill Belichick keep that thing on him too. Okay? And you will get clapped. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go over just a few things to look for in the Colonial games today. So first one, there's actually two that are at 2 p.m. Eastern. The first one is Delaware and Hofstra. And whenever it's a Hofstra game, you always have to look for the over on this one. It's a lean for me right now. Hofstra is a team that is centered on and relies on the three-pointer. So they have 4 guys in their top 6 that can make threes. Delaware's three-point defense, just eyed, not the greatest in the world. So this would also be one too where I might be looking to take a live under because I can see both teams starting off pretty hot on this one and kind of trading baskets back and forth. I would look for that one. Drexel Northeastern. It's Northeastern -1, over under of 137.5. Drexel is kind of your definition of an average team. They do a lot of things well, but nothing spectacular. Northeastern is a little more focused on a few things. Number one is they run teams off of the three-point line. So their defense operates under what's called no help principles, which basically means that if a guy gets beat, they would much rather give up a 2-point shot or 2-point basket than a kick out for a 3. Drexel shoots the 3 very average. So it's probably not something that you'd have to worry about in that game. And so, and also Northeastern just plays teams really, really tough at home. So with the small chalk, I would probably lean and probably like the Northeastern -1. James Madison, William and Mary. So William and Mary, we always make fun of because they're bad. And their offense is like abysmally bad, but and James Madison is one of the class of the Colonial and might actually get their automatic bid on this one. This is one that I am going to watch and probably look to play live. 11.5 right now is a little bit too rich for my blood just because William and Mary can play teams tough at home. And there's a few matchup advantages that William and Mary surprisingly has against a team like James Madison. So I don't think there's any realistic chance that William and Mary wins, but I do think that the 11.5 is a little too rich for me. And so if you're looking at this game, I would probably look more towards the first half because William and Mary has played teams at home tough in the first half. Then the last one for the Colonial is Towson and Elon. It's Towson -5 right now. And so what I would probably lean towards here is I would probably lean. So the home team in this, Elon is much better at home. They shoot better at home. They execute better at home. Towson is they are a fundamental force is what I've called them. So they are one of the best teams in college basketball at playing team offense, team defense. They have several guys that can make the 3. So this is one that I'm not 100% sure pregame. I would for sure look to bet it live. If you can get Towson anywhere inside like the 1.5 to 2 point mark, that would be something that I would be looking to take. So that's just a quick preview of all the Colonial games. I might have a video play later for some of the later slate, but for sure, Kansas State and Dixie State both to cover today. If you really, really want to take a moonshot, you can also take Kansas State to win outright. And then I'm also on the money line, the Abilene Christian money line with Steven.
I like it.
All right. I mean, personally, I think a lot of people's value, as long as they're kind of following along all day, a lot of the value is going to come after the NFL games start. I think they did a pretty good job kind of capping some of these earlier games, but just with the NFL playoffs going on, I think a lot of the bookmakers are spending so much time making sure they get the NFL lines right. There will be some value, especially in the smaller conferences, after that 4 to 5 o'clock window today.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Stephen. And the thing that people do have to realize too is that even at the larger sports books, they're a business too. So it's not like they have one, or more people sitting there, going in depth on all of these on every single college game that exists. I mean, you think about it, that's over 100 people, and then you do every NFL game. I mean, you're talking about a staff of almost 300 people that would probably be pretty highly paid because of the skill set that you would need. So a lot of the smaller school stuff, especially the live lines, are just set by a computer algorithm. And so that's why watching the game, I know I said a few times today, bet live and look to take it live. What I always like to do is I always like to look for games that I think that the spread is pretty close, pretty correct in my capping. And then when I'm watching that game live, if one team jumps out to a lead or falls behind, and I still think that that's where the game's going to end up, then look to bet it live. Instead of trying to take it pregame, then you're avoiding the hook and getting sweaty with the hook at the end. So, but yeah, sportsbooks don't have like thousands upon thousands of people to adjust these lines every 5 seconds, especially with the smaller school games, because there's usually not enough money or bets on those games either way to make that much of a difference in their bottom line. But to Steven's point, there is on NFL games for sure. So if they get that one right and they get the equal action on both sides, which is what books want, which is how books make their money, then the small college games, I hate to say that they don't matter as much, but really they don't matter as much, which is another reason why I like attacking them, because you can get some lines that are off and that you can exploit and take advantage of. Because, in the end, the book doesn't really care if like I make money or Steven makes money or Goose makes money. They only care if they make money. So if they make money, they don't really give a shit where it comes from. So just something to keep in mind, and just to validate Steven's point that there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah, and Goose, my revenge game got postponed today because Providence is one of the later teams to get stuck with a pause because of Corona. But you guys got Maryland today. You're plus 4.5, 2 o'clock. I know it's a road game, but how do you feel?
It's like if Rutgers wins this game, I'm still thinking there's an outside chance that they rattle off a few, make the NCAA tournament. If they just lose this game, then I can finally like rip the Band-Aid off and just enjoy the season for what it is. Obviously, I'm going to be rooting for them, but I just can't advise anyone to bet on Rutgers on the road. We saw against Penn State, like they just look flat. They look dumb. They run some whack offense, no motion, maybe a pick and roll once or twice. But
Penn State's sneaky been playing well in the Big Ten, so I don't discount that loss as much as people just looking at the record might. But I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but in that game, like. I still think Rutgers has the best player in the game. Maybe it's Fats Russell, but that guard matchup is going to be elite.
Yeah, Rutgers will go as far as Geo Baker and Ron Harper take them, and Ron Harper just doesn't show up on the road historically. Great home player, can give you 30 at home, gives you 8 on the road. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
Good stuff. All right. Any final closing thoughts? Any final stuff that you guys wanted to go over?
I would just say make sure you're following all three of us if you kind of missed any part of the plays today, because I'm sure we'll be giving them out there for anybody who wasn't able to write down all the picks.
Yep. The only last thing I want to give this is just a straight sprinkle, absolute minimum bet. That's probably going to lose, but could pay huge. Is IUPUI. So money line plus 600 against Milwaukee. I would not bet anything more than the absolute minimum. There are several indicators that say that this game is going to be competitive. I think that when you have that and then you have a plus 600 money line, you can that it's a value play that you can take. So that's going to be my in honor of our friend Bullpen Bets. That's going to be my helicopter for the day. Is going to be IUPUI money line plus 600 over Milwaukee. That's all.
If they don't have Patrick Baldwin Jr. and they haven't announced that they don't have him yet, that could be that could start looking a lot better and closer to the game it gets.
Well, and that was my thought behind it. And also, if you're gonna bet it now, because if that gets out one way or the other, then this line is gonna go. You're not gonna get plus 600.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get plus 600. So, and that's why I said just very, very small sprinkle bet. So, all right. I think that that will do it for us today. On behalf of me, Spin Doc Sports, on behalf of Bruce, Steven. So make sure to follow us, Steven C. Betts, Kowal's Corner, myself. Follow the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Thank you to our sponsor, Pick City. On behalf of all of us, wishing you all the best of luck. And guys, let's have a day today.
Let's have a day.
Yes, sir. Let's have a day.
Hey guys, thank you.